Welcome back to the Gus Running Flight channel. Today, here we are at Flight Experience Adelaide. And now we're going to go from a short flight from Adelaide to Melbourne. So let's get right into it.
In this plane, try and line it up with this nudge in the panel.
Okay.
Swinging around to the right.
Oh, I can see the heading bug. It's telling me to go into that heading, right?
Yes. Oh. Perfect. And because you can't reach brakes when you want to stop, just pull on the parking brake. So you just got to pull it pretty hard, yeah, like that. Passing about 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet, push it down to 10 degrees.
Yeah.
And
slowly down.
yeah, and then we'll continue climbing up to 20,000 feet, and then once 19,000, say 600, push down to 0. All right, push the parking brake off. Push that. Oh, here I got it. It's a bit stiff, so grab onto here. Push the thrust to 40%, so just to there.
Are we clear for takeoff?
We are clear for takeoff. Perfect. Put your finger on this one. Get ready to press it. When that reaches 40, press it. Perfect. Now I'll keep it straight.
With the rudder? Okay.
Yeah. Alright, rocketing down the runway.
knots.
Perfect.
V1.
Rotate. Pull back. Now this plane's weird. It does require quite a bit of back pressure to take off. Bring it to that 15-degree mark. No, straight ahead. Keep going straight for a while. Alright, I'll grab the gear. Can you put the flaps to 1 for me? Press that speed button. Set that to 200. Flaps to 0. Oh, so you, to get out of that, you got to push it in. So these gates are a little weird. Push it in and then pull it up.
Push it in and then pull it up? Yeah.
Perfect. 230. That gate's the worst of them. So set 230 on there. Bring it down to 10 degrees. Keep it at about 10 degrees.
10 degrees, yeah.
Fantastic.
It does require force.
Oh yeah.
Can
Now
I use
remember,
the trim a little?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was about to suggest that. So yeah, use a trim at your leisure.
My speed is going down.
Oh, that's right.
The auto throttle is just maintained.
Yeah. So it'll drop, and the auto throttle will adjust it to maintain it. So we basically don't have to stress too much about the speed, unless the auto throttle fails, which it won't, hopefully. Pull back a little bit. That's right. This is a ridiculously heavy set of controls. Alright, start turning to the right to level out there and push forward as you do so. At the moment. Alright, so everything's all set up, gear is up, flaps are up, speed brake is off, auto brake is off. Autopilot's all engaged, climbing up to 20,000 feet. Now we'll come up here, we want to we'll turn off the landing lights to begin with because we're not landing. All 4 of them. And that one there, and we want to turn those 2 off, and the taxi light. Perfect. Keep that off. Those are all good. We want to keep them on. Perfect. Coming up here, we want to make sure battery is still on. So we can flick, if you want to flick that little safeguard all the way down. So this one here, flick it all the way down for me.
This one?
Yep. Perfect. Just make sure it's all down. We can keep these 2 on until we reach our goal of 20,000 feet.
So if people can move around the cabin, is that?
Not just yet, because we're still climbing.
Yeah, like when we go to 20,000, people can move around.
Yeah, and that's when we turn these 2 off. Oh, we'll leave the smoking on because no one's allowed to smoke, but we'll turn off the fasten seatbelts. Perfect. So we don't need any icing, so with no use using the icing systems up here. Circulation vents are all good. What I will do while I'm on this side, change the APU bleeds and put the packs onto auto and the isolation valve onto open. Perfect. So everything's all set. Everything's set here. Our system's set here. Climbing, just passing 13,000 feet now. So what I'll do is I'll show you the flight computer down here just while we have a little bit of time to chill out and relax. So are you familiar with this computer at all? Fantastic. So do you use like it on flight simulators or? Fantastic, I love it. So this computer, like Blood of the Plane, as you probably know, it's pretty much how we get all our information. So now we know our ILS frequency for Melbourne. So we know frequency is 109.7. So coming down here, set 109.7 onto there.
109.7.
Yep. Oh, go up image. There you are. And we want to transfer it to the active frequency.
So transfer?
Yep. And you'll notice that the ILS just popped up there.
Yeah.
So that's what that green, I think that's what that is. Anyway, it's basically, if you imagine a radius around the airfield, it's basically the distance from the airfield along that radius. So if you have a look, zoom in a bit more. So if you have a look at the runway, just probably hard to see now, but at Melbourne there is some dotted lines, yellow, green lines. You can see them. That shows when we're 10, 7 miles away. The DME will tell us how far we are away from it, and it activates, I think, about 20 miles away. So it's pretty useful and pretty handy. But bear with me for a second, just while I double check. Perfect. Yep.
In case we have electrical failure or an engine failure, I'm just asking, do we turn on the APU?
Yes. If there's an engine failure, what happens is we throw the APU on, so we push, and then we can turn the APU on using these two little levers. It's like dusting down and throwing us down. So here is okay, but if you'd prefer, what we can do is we can practice probably diverting around to the right and then come around like that if you prefer.
Shall I turn the wipers on?
The which one?
Shall I turn the wipers on?
Go ahead, yeah. Perfect. While we're at it, we'll turn on the anti-ice. So see that one there?
Yeah.
Oh, you got that one? I got these ones for you.
Thanks.
Perfect. Alright, so that's all on, so that
And
way...
now our speed is now getting... Like,
Yeah.
the wind speed's now coming up.
Yeah, so you could tell that there's a huge difference. So we can either divert around it or we can continue pretty much bang on because we are pretty much straight on where we want to go. But otherwise we can divert to the left because our runway's on basically facing that direction anyway. So we can divert like that and then follow it in like that.
I think since we're on course already, let's just go.
Perfect, yeah. And it's not affecting us too much as well.
Yeah.
We're right on top of it as well. But it will affect us probably when we get here to start descending. But hopefully by that point the thunderstorm is a little bit either calmed down or out of our way. Perfect.
If this is a smaller monoplane, would we be diverting off just flying straight?
What was that, sorry?
If we were flying in a small monoplane, would
Oh,
we be
you would divert, like immediately. Yeah. If this was a small monoplane, I wouldn't have even been flying, to be honest. Thunderstorms in a small plane are terrifying. There was an air crash, if you don't mind me talking about air crashes. Fantastic. There was an air crash a few years ago with some guys up in the north, so up in Alice Springs. They were flying, and he took...
here?
No, not here, in Alice Springs. There have been a few here as well. But he took off into a thunderstorm without realising it, turned around, the wings pulled up, so like there was a sudden updraft from the thunderstorm, ripped the wings up, and he just ended up crashing into the ground because he had no wings. So it's scary, yeah. But there was one here as well, not because of a thunderstorm, and thankfully the guy actually lived. The one with the wings ripped up, he lived, which is remarkable. But there was one here in that Parafield.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of anything in Adelaide.
This was actually a war. He ended up, it was in the dead of night. There was only the air traffic controller, and he ended up missing the runway and crashing into some power lines. So that was all over the news. All right. So when halfway to our descent point, so do you remember what height we wanted to get to?
Wasn't it 3,000?
3,000. Yep. So in a second we'll set it up here. So set it there. You might have to set the vertical speed automatically, depending. Or what you can do is you can just like level change. So what I will get you to do in probably a few minutes. We'll wait for us to get a bit closer first. So if you do it,
How far are we now?
so you can see we're about so that's 180 nautical mile marker. This was the 300 nautical mile marker. So I'd say we're about 200 miles away. So we're pretty close, and we're getting closer. And the thunderstorm is definitely helping our ground speed, which is weird, but thankful. I'll talk you through the landing just while we have a bit of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to rocket down here onto runway 16, which is facing this direction. All right. So we'll come in, join a base for there, come in like that, and land. You're going to hear a few heights called out as we get closer to the runway. You're going to hear 50, 30, 20, and 10. Now, I don't know if this is what you guys do on your simulator, but when you hear 50, pull it all the way back. Yep. When you hear 30, flare. And then, all good. It's so nice to be able to talk to someone who knows the lingo. Perfect. So we're nearly there.
In the Airbus, they have a retard call out, right?
Yes, they do, yeah. So instead of, I think their retard call out is actually for...
Thrust, actually. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I think it's for the thrust.
It probably would be, yeah.